food in South Africa might be the best kept secret in the world. You'll go from eating very large birds to drinking world-class wine to tasting Cape Malay specialties and finally sitting back with a local barbecue that rivals anything in the American South. And that's just in your first few days. I've literally never heard anyone outside of South Africa talking about South African food. Maybe it's because South African food has so many influences that it might be kind of hard to put it into one well-defined box. Is it African food? Is it Malaysian food? European? And why are we all eating ostrich? Should I be feeling guilty about this? What does it mean if I fed an ostrich and then I ate the ostrich that I fed? Does that mean I'm feeding myself? I spent a month in Cape Town and the surrounding areas, and I tried it all. And I've got recommendations for you to make sure that you have the best possible culinary experience during your time in South Africa. I'm not sure how South African locals will feel about this recommendation. Why? Because for some it may very well be a tourist trap. But if it is a tourist trap, there is no denying it's a really good one. Gold Restaurant in Cape Town is really the ultimate one-stop shop for everything African food. On top of getting 14 courses of food from different areas of the continent, you're also getting a full evening of incredible African song and dance. Plan in advance, because if you're able to snag a 6:30 p.m. dinner reservation like I was, you'll get to join in on the fun and take part in a drumming performance to start the night. I ordered an entire bottle of wine for myself. I chose the House Pinotage, which is a South African specialty wine that is kind of sweet and pretty fruity. Wine is a whole event in South Africa, so hang tight because I'm going to talk more about that in just a little bit. The food courses are fairly small, but if you ever want more of anything in particular, you can ask and they'll bring it out for you. I won't go course by course, but some of the highlights for me were for sure the starters. I loved the Namibian seared ostrich salad. Ostrich sort of tastes similar to other forms of red meat, except a little bit lighter and a little bit less fatty. I'm just saying, it's worth trying. I also really loved the Roersterkoek, which is an African bread typically roasted over fire during a braai. Braai is the name for South African barbecue, and it is huge in this country. More about that later as well. And then these Malawi sweet potato cakes. They're spicy from the chili and sweet from the sweet potato. So good. The protein main courses were honestly a little bit less exciting to me. They were mostly just your typical shrimp, venison, couscous sort of fare. Not bad, but not quite as dynamic. I would have loved a whole meal that was just made up of those starters. I mean, give me some more of that bread. Sheesh. I had a great time with this, even on my own. I drank and played drums and got my face painted and saw some amazing performances, and it would make for a really fun evening if you're in town with the whole family as well. This whole bottle of wine, 14 courses of food, performances over 3.5 hours, face painting and tip, came out to just $62 US in total. In a previous video about Cape Town, I spoke about how it's a city of contrasts. And despite both restaurants serving South African fare, BIESMIELLAH contrasts Gold Restaurant in just about every possible way. It's located in the Boa Cap neighborhood. Boa Cap certainly gets its fair share of tourists these days due to its colorful appearance. But for many years, it was a segregated Muslim area within Cape Town city center. The people who lived there, regardless of where they actually came from, became known as Malay. And Cape Malay food emerged as a whole style of cuisine with a heavy base right in the Boa Cap neighborhood. The heart of all of this is right here at BIESMIELLAH. I ordered a dish with 4 starters, including 2 samosas, a mini pie, and a spring roll, before getting boboti as my main, which is perhaps the most famous Cape Malay dish. It's sort of sweet and sort of savory at the same time. It is a halal rice dish with ground beef, curry, and egg, and I had a great time with it. It's such an odd combination of flavors, but it somehow works. There are tons of walking tours that will take you through Boa Cap, so be sure to spend a few hours over there eating and exploring and shopping. It's fairly safe during the day, but it is an area that's best avoided at night. I won't pull any punches. I'm here to wine and dine you. We've done some dining, now let's do some whining. Huh? Okay, but first let me preface this by making what might sound like an asinine recommendation. Sign up for a hop-on, hop-off bus tour. You've seen these, they're all over the world. These huge red buses in major cities that take you to all the important tourist destinations. Now, 99% of the time, I would tell you to avoid these like the plague. If a city has any sort of metro system, it's almost always the better and cheaper option. However, Cape Town does not. And what's more is this particular hop-on, hop-off bus has the ability to take take you all the way out of the city and into wine country. One such stop on the Red Bus Tour is at GROOT Constantia. It is the oldest winery in all of South Africa. It's super famous. There are several other wineries in the area that you can visit that are less touristy, but this one is no doubt the most convenient. Spend the whole day there if you have the time. Wander the entire estate, go to the museum, and do a tour and a tasting. I did the tasting, and it included effectively 5 proper glasses of wine. I went with a rosé, a Sauvignon Blanc, and of course, the South African original, Pinotage. I also tried 2 fancy award-winning red wines called the Lady of Abundance and the Governor's Reserve. And you know what? I couldn't pick a favorite. They're just all too lovely. Does this make me sound like I know wine? I don't. Nonetheless, it's a great experience. Buy a bottle or 2, sit down at the cafe, you'll have a good day. And this was me on the bus ride back. As I mentioned earlier, braai is the South African word for barbecue. Just logistically, barbecuing is meant to be done outside. This is kind of more of a thing you do with friends, as opposed to like a sit-down restaurant experience. But, I was alone. So yeah, restaurant it is. Over in the beautiful seaside neighborhood of Sea Point, you will find Mojo Market, which is just one of the huge food markets in Cape Town. Cape Town residents eat these places up, because it's food. Within Mojo Market is MONTY'S famous SPITBRAAI, and the only way to go is to order the whole braai platter. It has Boherwors sausage and lamb, along with potato wedges and salad. Braai, by rule, is always cooked over coals or wood, never gas. And you taste that in the flavor. It's really smoky, and all that smoke just gets absorbed into the meat. I was into it. If you ever meet locals in Cape Town, try to put together an outdoor braai picnic. Pro tip, pull over and cook your food on the side of Chapman's Peak Drive, which is no doubt one of the most beautiful roadside views in the world. Okay, we're everywhere, just moving all over town. Are you with me? Are you keeping up? Back in city center, I went to MARIAM'S, which is a super budget-friendly spot that serves local food of all varieties. One of the most popular street food options in Cape Town is the Boherwors Roll. The word Boherwors means farmer's sausage. You can top your roll with almost anything. I got mine with the whole world on it, including veggies and fries. South Africans love to put fries on sandwiches. In fact, another super famous sandwich served in Cape Town is called the Gatsby, and it's pretty much just this sandwich with various forms of meat and sauce and fries. Except the thing is that the sandwich is f***ing enormous. A full-sized Gatsby could actually feed an entire family. You'll love to see it. I also ordered 4 coexisters for dessert, which are basically like a form of donut. These ones had coconut on the outside. They weren't super sweet, but it's fried bread and that's good enough for me. All of this food, and it was a lot, was under $5 US, including a Coke Zero. This place is incredible. Are you bougie? I don't know, you might be super bougie, just saying. If that's true and you don't care about cheap street food, or you're a little less adventurous and only interested in staying in the Victoria Alfred waterfront area, I have a little bit more of an upscale option for you. It's Den Anker. It's actually a Belgian restaurant, but they do also carry some South African specialties on their menu. The English influence on South Africa shows up in a lot of ways, but the foodiest way is through fish and chips. Cape Townians love fish and chips. Den Anker has some really lovely, really fresh, bougie fish and chips, if that's what you're into. I mean, look at this plating. And the fish is so flaky. Of course, the fries were delicious because it's a Belgian restaurant, and I topped it off with a glass of South African Pinotage wine. I really felt like I was eating a very multicultural meal. Bougie! Den Anker is right in the middle of the waterfront area, so it's super hard to miss. Even if the waterfront is the prime tourist hub of Cape Town, I still loved it there. The street performances are amazing, there are great museums, and there's a huge shopping mall if that's something you're into. Honestly, if none of that sounds good to you and you aren't impressed with South African food, I don't know what to tell you. Actually, I take that back. I do know what to tell you. I gotta tell you about Cape Town's branch of Time Out Market. Now, coming from New York City, I am super familiar with Time Out Market. That's where it originated, and we have one over in Brooklyn. But if you've never been, this is basically a food hall that is curated by the famous Time Out magazine, and it exclusively features stalls from local iconic favorites. There's no way you won't find something here. My favorite was a Cape Malay food stall called Barakat, where I had a sort of tempura chicken wrap called sosoti. Perfection. The bao at How Bao Now was a standout as well. super spicy, great flavor. Another African food stall called Melilo gave me the brochette of Dakar, which is really good. It's just this super moist chicken sandwich covered in sauces. Also, I had a s'more. They also have a bar with tons of great Cape wine options. So if you're coming in on a cruise and you only have the opportunity to go to one place, this should be it. South African food has so many influences that I think maybe people get confused, but just like, don't. I mean, I get it. How can one place be known for eating ostrich and also be known for having some of the best wine on earth? It's called being multifaceted, okay? And we love to see it. The only thing you really need to know is that it is very worth it and very unique. And all of these cultures coming together has created a culinary landscape unlike anything else on earth. You didn't leave me. Wow, that makes you one of the good ones. Thank you so much. We should braai sometime. I have another even more personal video about finding the best version of myself right here in Cape Town. I hope you give it a watch. Click here now.